Hello everyone. This is the part 2 video of the Jenkins shared library. In the first video, Dikshit went through how you set up the Jenkins shared library in the Jenkins instance and went through how you can create a global var uh, and execute in the Jenkins pipeline. The shared library is like, to reiterate, it is some of the concepts of complex scenarios like logics and all we can implement in Jenkins shared library, and some common features which you think in the which is getting repeated across all the projects, you can go ahead and put it in the Jenkins shared library. So in this video, we have taken a small simple example where we will go through all the features. The directory structure looks like SRC vars resources. So how you can utilize resources, how you can have a global var, how you can keep a source code in SRC, and how we can refer a method from SRC using Groovy closures. We'll come across Groovy closures. So in this video, I've taken a very simple example to build a Maven project. So I have a Maven project basically. So in this project, I have a global I've not hard coded the goal. So the goals are being specified in a separate static file and YAML file. So which will be present in the resources section. In case if you want to override that YAML file, each repo will have a separate YAML file. So the developers can name it any name, but the same name should be pointed in the Jenkins file. So in that case, the global config.yaml which is present will get overridden with the goal which you specify in there. So this resources file, I have taken a very simple example, but in a very real-time scenario, we can keep store all other artifact URLs, which is very common stuffs like that, and all we can keep it here. There might be scenarios like you can run this Maven builder in a Dockerized Maven container where it requires a settings.xml file, which you can keep it in resources section and refer it while doing Maven clean install. That way also it helps. So you can keep a Docker template and say the Maven builder images kind of Docker file contents. Those kind of scenarios also we can use resources. And at the runtime, when you build the image using Maven, you can while the pipeline starts, you can go ahead, take the Docker template and then build the image. These are some of the few scenarios where you can keep the resources file statically and use it in the pipeline. So vars is like globally accessible variables. So if you define it, so you can directly access it in the config file. Whereas if any code in the SRC directory, it should go within the vars directory only. From vars only we can access it, any method. Say for example, this is a Jenkins file. So these are basic things. So my interest is here. So config is a global where Maven build is the method I have defined in the SRC section. I can't use it directly. So how I've used it is like I've defined a global var called config. From there, I've created a closure. So the closure delegates it to an SRC class, the source file, Maven builder where this method is there. This is my global shared library. The same, I have a resources section where I have kept a global config.yaml. The SRC section has a Maven builder class, and the var section has the config.groovy and the filter logs, which was used earlier. So if you go across my pipeline, which I'm going to run, it is basically this one. So as you say, you can have n number of to import a library. You have to do @library and the library name. This can be any name, but same as such configured in the Jenkins shared library. So you can have multiple libraries as well. So that the constraint is like just the first one will have one underscore, the next following will have double underscore and forth and so on. So these are basic. So I've used Docker images. These things also we can use it inside the container. So basically, the resources section which I'm using right now is a very just low. The goals which I've uh, going to run for Maven clean install, that I'm externalizing it. There might be scenarios where you need to have the Maven image. It will use a settings.xml, right? You can have that will not be changed. That can be kept in the resources section. Whenever a Docker image runs using Maven, we can use that settings.xml in the pipeline library itself. We can use it. So it has multiple stages. One is our Maven build, and one is to check the logs whether it has a warning. So both has a a var section in it. So basically, I'll explain two. I've done a overloading. So we'll explain how we can use the global config.yaml and how we can actually override it using a config YAML which is present in the repository. So this is the config.yaml which is present. This is the global var. This Maven build is present in a class file which is there in the SRC path. So yeah, so now basically when this runs, basically it runs in a Maven container. So when config comes, it looks for the var section with the same name. So config.groovy is the same name. So here there is two call methods. So basically it will look for a call method which it can execute. So if you go across and see here, there is no parameters involved in it, and it has only one closure. The closure is, as I said, it is just an anonymous block of code where we can have any block of code here. It's just similar to Java Lambda. So here I have, so basically here it doesn't have any parameters, just a closure. So this method will be called. So internally I'm calling the overloaded method, the empty parameter, empty string. So basically here I am accessing the global config.yaml in the resources direction. How you do it is using a library resource. So whatever there in the resources section, if you want to use it, just use library resources and then the path corresponding to it. So this converts the YAML file, whatever there in the file content to a string. So then basically using read YAML, the string would be in a YAML format basically because it's in the YAML format. So in this global config file, I just created a builder Maven goal clean package. So now when I trigger this build, it should go with clean package goal. So this condition is basically for us, it is empty, so it will not go across to it. So when I explain the next scenario, I'll come to this part. Basically here is the place where I am actually, if you are again overriding builder Maven goal, and if you want to override it with something else, say deploy in place of clean package, then you will have a repo config file, kind of repo config.yaml, where you can go ahead and keep it. So there also it will be the same file structure. So whenever if you have the same structure, in this structure, if you have that clean package and you have a repo config file which you're passing the same key in it, and you have a different goal in it, then it gets overridden. Now, if you use it, if you use this part, it will run clean install. So what it does is like the repo config can have additional values specific to repository level. So those config gets added to it. If there is anything which needs to overridden, it gets overridden as well. Basically, if the key matches, it gets overridden. Then there comes Maven build method. So this Maven build method tries to be executed here itself if there is no closure delegation. In the same var, you have to define a Maven build method, but to keep it more modular, we have kept the logic of some stuffs in the SRC section. So we have created a Maven builder .groovy in the SRC. So we are creating a Maven builder object and delegating the closure. So the closure is getting delegated to this builder object, and we can have multiple resolving strategies called delegate first, delegate only, owner first, owner only, stuff like that. Delegate first is like it will look for that this particular method, I mean present the closure to get executed in the delegated method. So the delegated closure. So it means it will try to go to Maven builder and identify whether there is any method is there or not. If it is not able to find this Maven build method, it will go ahead and check it in the config.groovy class. So the precedence happens like that. First the child one, then the parent. So if it is owner only, it will check in the owner only. This is the line where we run the closure basically. Yeah, so there are two configurations I'm going to show. Just we'll go ahead and see the demo basically. We'll in the Maven builder, I'm not hard coding anything. So whenever this Maven build happens, it will execute this. It just returns a Maven clean install. So it identifies the both the map values get overridden, and it takes a final goal from the resolved map. So finally we'll get Maven clean install or Maven clean package accordingly. If repo config is provided, it will get Maven clean install. If no repo config is provided, it will be Maven clean package. Just for now, I'll just have the repo config.yaml and trigger the build. So I'm just triggering. This is my Jenkins instance hosted in GCP. So I'm triggering a build. Build has been triggered. So if you see here, it would check for first Maven clean package, which is present in the global config.yaml. Then it will take clean install. So ideally, both the keys values are same. So it will get overridden and Maven clean install will execute. So finally, the build gets unstable because of another variable which we check, filter logs, where we check the console output. Any warning method, warning string is there, we are making the build unstable. So now we will go ahead and change this part. Just we'll, without a repo config, how it works, it will be able to take the global config directly, which is there in the resources section. Committing the changes. Just go there, re-trigger the build. The build is triggered. So if we see now, only the clean package gets executed. So in this scenario, just it packages the code, then runs it. So that's it. So in this scenario, it actually executes this part of the code. So here, if you see, we are not passing any. We are passing the config global variable with only closure as the argument. So this is the call gets executed. This method get executed, which we are. I mean, again, we are redirecting the call to the same method with an empty string. So this portion of code will not get executed. So the map will not get overridden. Then basically it happens the same thing. I hope this video is useful for you. Just for more interesting videos on DevOps, kindly share, like. Bye-bye.